Alright.
Dead in Hip Hop, Big K.R.I.T, King Remembering the Time, Mixtape review. We're joined with DJ Wally Sparks.
Yo, I'm DJ Wally Sparks from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Tour DJ, music director, A&R consultant for Def Jam recording artist Big K.R.I.T, whose music we're about to talk about right now. Learn something. I'm really interested in what y'all think though, for real.
Yeah. Well, you know, we had somebody on the show today, so Ken did the introductions. Normally I do the music review intro, but y'all already know I fucking love this mixtape. I loved it from the moment it came on. I think K.R.I.T definitely has some really nice gems on this, like WTF, what the fuck we gonna do now? Whew. There's a whole bunch of songs on this mixtape I have just on repeat, like Shine On, Y'all Ain't Talking About Nothing, WTF.
A little different for him though.
It was. You know, like the whole spoken word thing. The only person or thing in hip hop that I remember that can equate to something like that is Outkast. When they did Spodiote, Dopalicious. Like that's exactly what I thought of. Because and I think on this mixtape for me, K.R.I.T already dropped 3 dope mixtapes, a good album, and here goes another dope project, man. And I think for me, this was my favorite one. You know, like in Forever and a Day, that's my second favorite. He gave you a day in the life of Big K.R.I.T. That's why I loved it. Every song, you know, he gave you different emotions. And then on this one, I feel like he gave you different emotions. Just like on Forever and a Day, he had Red Eye. On this one, he had Bigger Picture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just love the fact that K.R.I.T for me, he taps into the emotional side of hip hop, but he still keeps it cool. And it's like he almost speaks for me. Like Bigger Picture, I feel like that in my relationship at times. Red Eye, I feel like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if everybody feels like that, but I just know that what he said, I'm like, damn, I couldn't put it any better.
There's a real interesting dynamic with that Bigger Picture record, because there are a lot of people who think that Bigger Picture is about Live from the Underground. You know what I'm saying? They think that he's using the art metaphor as you know, as or there are other people that take it like you took it, like think it's a relationship record. So it's kind of up to the listener to decide what's what. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of people seem to be gravitating toward that song, which is one of my personal favorites. I remember when he came to my house and played it. Like that's usually how what, you know, when I hear new shit before it comes out, K.R.I.T come to my house and he'll call me up and be like, hey man, what's going on? I say, man, what Shay's like, man, I'm finna run up on your crib, man. I got something, you know, for you here, man. Just check out. And he came over and he played that Bigger Picture record. I'm like, man. I said, man, that was like, I hadn't heard you go in depth like that since maybe like King's Blues or something. I was really into it. You know what I'm saying? And those are the kind of records that made me want to work with K.R.I.T in the beginning anyway. So when I always get excited when I hear him do them kind of records, man. It's just funny that you brought that up, because you know I've been hearing so many people assuming that song is about Live from Underground, and I didn't even think of it that way. I thought it the way you thought of it. You know what I'm saying? As being like a relationship record.
Did he produce the whole thing?
Yeah, he did everything for Life was a Gamble. Life was a Gamble. Ninth Wonder did that one, and that he went to North Carolina maybe 2 months ago. This shit just happened on a whim, like, you know, and he was like, you know, Knife called him up, was like, you know, come through. Got in the car and drove to North Carolina, man, and, you know, did 4 records in a night, and that was one of them.
The other track I really love was Good Together. Like, my girl didn't like that.
Which one?
That was like
Good Together.
Single.
That's what I thought too. When I first heard it, I'm like, yo, the radio has not had something like this in a minute. They need this one. And she was like, yeah, it reminds me of Swing My Way. I'm like, yeah, it's a cool summer.
KP and Envy?
Yeah, like
a happy, up-tempo type of track. And she's like, I don't want to hear K.R.I.T on that. But I'm like, you got to listen to what he's saying, though. And I do too.
Yeah.
I do.
And then I think the other thing I took away from this is the fact that, for me, K.R.I.T doesn't dumb down regardless of the features that he has. So regardless of his future, Trinidad, Wiz, doesn't matter. K.R.I.T was still K.R.I.T to me.
Damn, that's fucked up.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is.
What I'm saying is a lot of artists dumb down to the level of their other people that they're featuring. Happens a lot.
You saying Trinidad James can't rap?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
What you trying to say about Wiz? What you trying to say about Wiz?
What I'm saying is Big K.R.I.T eclipses them. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think this project right here, man, I like, it was just like his previous projects, they're so diverse. You got bouncing tracks like My Trunk, but then you got the introspective life lessons track like Meditate, Life is a Gamble, Multi till I Die. I don't like
Mm-hmm.
my favorite, some of my favorite tracks on there. Ain't talking about nothing like another bounce track.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I
like
love that.
the good thing about K.R.I.T, thing I love about K.R.I.T is that he got that good. His subject matter is so good, and he got that good mainstream radio sound that everybody can appeal to, and it's like you can't deny this dude. It's like almost like when I was listening to this, I'm like, what else good can I say about this dude? Like, how am I gonna be able to review this? Because it's like this dude has put out multiple good projects, and it's like, what more can you say? It's like K.R.I.T is a very well diverse MC, and I don't like to say Southern MC. He's a good MC. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like to.
He's a good Southern MC. I don't think
I mean,
anything wrong with that.
Yeah, because he claims it so hard. So hey, you know what? Great
MC.
Southern MC. Southern MC.
Yeah, MC, man. I say MC, good MC. Big K.R.I.T put out a good, diverse project. His subject matter was very diverse as well. He talked on My Trunk shit, like I said, and got on some life lessons shit. Like I think like Forever and a Day, like you said, it goes into a day in the life of Big K.R.I.T. I think this one is kind of like more of like a life lessons. Or a life of Big K.R.I.T, you know what I'm saying? Because he started off in the beginning of the intro with being born as baby, talking about coming up.
And we didn't even talk about Banana Clip Theory. That's another one. That's another one I fucking love.
What you think about the My Trunk? I mean, the My Trunk. His verse was crazy on there though. Because look, I'll be honest. When I saw Trinidad James on the track, I was like, oh boy.
Don't prejudge. That's what you get for prejudging the track.
You know, I have that right. I can do that.
That's true.
But you know. But when K.R.I.T did his thing, and his flow was crazy, and then he had like his flow in the first verse was just crazy. Then he came in and he did the second verse, which was dope as hell. And you know,
Leave him alone, man.
I'm not gonna jump on Trinidad. I think Trinidad was okay. No,
you was going there.
No, I wasn't.
You was going there, kid.
No.
Because you had that look on your face. You was like, remember?
I wasn't even looking at him.
He had that look. You know, he had that look. You were like,
I'm finna clown inflection.
I'm not. You know, I didn't know what to expect from him, and I was okay with what I got. Overall, man, I think I'm like B. You know, he's so consistent from project to project to project. It's like at some point you kind of look up and be like, what more can I say? But yeah, you know, he's so consistent. But what I liked about this one is that it sounded like, to me, it sounded like he was kind of experimenting with different sounds in production a little bit more. He kind of opened it up and not really have that.
You said something about production. What do you think about the production on this? Because I know that there are a lot of people who are critical of K.R.I.T that say that the beats that he should stop rapping on his own beats. You know what I'm saying?
What? Shit.
There are a lot of people. That's one of the criticisms I see more than I see other criticisms. You know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time, I'm always going to encourage him to rap on his own music because that's because he knows what he's going to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's like I can only imagine him creating a beat and then like, oh, okay, I know exactly what I'm gonna do to this.
Right.
That's it. Like that's perfection.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it happen. I've seen it. I've been sitting in the studio watching him make a beat without the intent of writing a song at all. Like I'll sit there, see him watch him make a beat, and then all of a sudden, by the time he chopped up a sample and added some, added maybe a kick in the snare and got a rhythm going, all of a sudden he's writing a song in his head, right there. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe, an hour later, there may be 2 or 3 verses laid. You know what I'm saying? Then maybe 30 minutes after that is a hook. 2 hours, you got a brand new song. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people all the time, like, there's no way I'll ever tell him to not, record over his own music or stop producing for himself. A question I want to ask y'all, what do y'all think about the range of production on this particular project? You think it's broader than
I think it's broader.
stuff?
That's what I like about this one compared to some of the other projects that he has, because it definitely sounds like he's expanding his production a little bit more, and kind of doing some things that's a little bit more different than he's done in the past. Personally, for me, I would like to, not that I would ever tell him to stop rapping over his own beats, but I would like to hear him rap over some different type of production.
Me too.
And I would like to hear the track he's doing with, because I saw he was in the studio with Mike Will, so I would love to hear how that. No. I would like to hear how that track turns out.
Call me crazy. I'm perfectly fine with him rhyming over his production. Now I'll tell you why. Because K.R.I.T makes, in my opinion, perfect radio music. Because it sounds like it could be on the radio, but he's not spitting a whole bunch of derivative, typical bullshit like you hear on the radio. So I don't want him to switch his style up. I want other motherfuckers to switch their style towards him. I want him to keep making that shit that's tailored for fans of good radio music. Because that's the only way the radio is going to start playing good music.
And he can still have his underground fans as well as the new mainstream fans.
The underground fans are going to gravitate towards him because he's not talking about the same typical bullshit. And you're going to get those other fans that are going to gravitate towards him because he has that smooth southern sound, that smooth southern drawl, and he has that crystal clean production. So why change a good thing at this point? He has the thing about K.R.I.T is he hasn't repeated himself yet. So there's no reason to change. I can see if he made the same album 3-4 times already. You know what I mean? He hasn't done that yet.
There are people that say that he has though.
Yeah, like because he
that was saying, Yo was saying that.
But he changed his mind by the end of it.
No, he did. But you know why? Because K.R.I.T will take something he says in a song and make a song about it. What you mean you ain't nasty? That was a lyric. And he turned that shit into a song. And I can see why people say that. But, yo, he just turned a lyric into a song.
But those songs don't sound the same.
And they don't sound the same.
See?
And then in terms of his production, I think on a K.R.I.T project, I always want K.R.I.T to have... I don't care if he goes and messes with other producers. You know what I'm saying? But I still want to get that all-inclusive K.R.I.T feeling on a project. Like, if this is your project, I want to have that K.R.I.T down south feeling. But I do agree that I would like to see him on more production. I really have not heard a verse where K.R.I.T does not kill it, regardless of the production style. New York, boom bap, southern, it doesn't matter. Like and that's what I'm saying, like he's a true artist. It doesn't matter what production you put in front of him, he's gonna murder it. And for me, I just want to hear more K.R.I.T. You know, and at the end of the day, you can't really oversaturate the market, so I understand that. But I think there's certain artists that it's just like, how much more does he have? You know, and I think he could just keep going because of the production. Because I think that'll bring in more emotion out of him. Like, damn, you know how this bangs or how this hook is or whatever. I think he could just keep going, and I just want more.
What's funny is, I was in 100% agreement with Raphael. This was my favorite project. And it might still be. The only reason I took that back, because I haven't listened to Forever Today in a minute. So I don't want to say that yet. But I remember when I put this on, I told Rob, I was like, this album's fucking crazy. And I was like, I don't see how, as a hip hop fan, you can at least not say that you enjoy it. I can't see anybody saying this is not good. You know what I mean? But listening to this album, I definitely think his production was a lot more varied. One standout track, production-wise, for me was the R.E.M. track, where he used the James Blake sample. And the James Blake album is one of my favorite albums that came out last year. And I was amazed that K.R.I.T took that and made that into a hip-hop song. And I thought it was dope as fuck. But my favorite moment of the album had to be tracks 15 and 16. What the fuck? Into the next one. And I was just like, listening to you talk about it, was everything that I was going to say. Like, the beat poet style of What the Fuck was just so crazy to me. And I don't know if he was actually telling the truth about that really just being a poem that he decided to turn into a track at the last minute. But it sounds like it. It sounds like it. It sounds like some shit I would hear at a coffee shop. You know what I mean? Like the what do you say? What do you say? I'm too cold to warm your soul.
When he was talking about
he was just going.
The girl? He talking about the girl?
No, like the first verse was about about the dealer and why he's a dealer. That verse was the one where I was just like, damn, that's crazy. He said something like, my something is too cold to warm your soul, and then he said, my eyes are too closed to see your goals and I can barely see mine. I'm like, god damn. So the dude's a dope ass rapper and he's on some of this type of shit. I'm like, damn, this dude is crazy. And then moving into the bigger picture, I thought that was dope as shit. And I took it the same way you did, that it was a relationship track because it was coming from the end of the track before that. So I was like, okay, like he's talking about how he's trying to do this art for us, but he's actually becoming too obsessed with the art and therefore neglecting you. Yeah, this ain't no finger paint. I know what he said. I know the portrait should have been of me and you. I'm like, damn, this shit is deep as fuck. And the whole album, don't get me wrong, the whole album I love, but it was track 15 and 16 where I was just like, this shit is my favorite K.R.I.T project, because I was just like, god damn. Like, I don't listen to him as hard as you do, but I haven't heard something that deep connect like that from K.R.I.T. So that shit blew me away.
You know, I think the last time, me personally, that I felt he was that deep for me was K.R.I.T was here.
The album just started off perfect, man. From the intro into Shine On, where he just had that smooth, classic UGK flow, and then it just went uphill from there. It's just weird how an artist like this has all of these projects, and he doesn't seem to be slowing down. It's like he just keeps getting better and better, which also makes me question, why the fuck is he not huge? I mean, he's big, of course, but why is he not just
breaking through?
Yeah, it's weird, because I read something recently. They're talking about him and Kendrick Lamar and how they both kind of sort of got popular around the same time. And K.R.I.T is doing all this introspective, creative shit. So it's Kendrick Lamar, but Kendrick Lamar is just
bam
with the mainstream sound. So it's not the sound.
It's not the sound. So what the fuck is it?
Is it the back?
Is it the cosign?
Yeah, I'm about to say,
I don't know. Maybe it's the cosigns. I don't know, because I don't know if K.R.I.T really has those big names co-signing him like that. But
K.R.I.T's gotten to where he's gotten based on the merit of his music alone. Just the music. You know what I'm saying? And in this day and age, you know, we live in a society where you know, the cosign maybe, you know, the cosign is more important than the talent.
Yeah.
Sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because you look at somebody like how The Weeknd kind of exploded after, you know, Drake put his arm around him and was like, you know, that's my guy from Toronto. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not to say that he wasn't talented, because he is, but and the music he was making was good, but because Drake said it,
right.
You know, 1 million people are listening now. Right. You know, and you got, you know, K.R.I.T earned his way to the position that he's in purely based on music and music alone. You know what I'm saying?
And that's rare.
Yeah, he says that road less travel thing all the time. That's what that is. That's the hard way. You know what I'm saying? But in the end, you know, that's the way you build longevity too.
Kind of going back to what FIFO was saying, that's why I think when you're working with artists, you know, like Trinidad James and even with Future, and you still be who you are, you know, you get exposed to their fans, and you are able to actually draw in more fans yourself, because they actually listen to you because you have a Futures on your record, or Trinidad James on your record. So, you know, like, I'll check this out. I'll give it a chance, and all of a sudden, hey, this motherfucker's dope. Let me see what else he has. But the key is, like FIFO said, he's not deviating away from who he is as an artist and what he does with his ability, you know, as an artist. So,
but see, that's a question I have for you, because I mean, obviously you know him the best out of everybody here. Does he set out to make radio-friendly music just with better lyrics, or is this just the sound that he has in him that just comes out?
We never think about that. Make what sounds good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. If he has something in his mind, like, Wally, I need you to come cut on this. I need you to come scratch, or whatever. You know, because I think it's going to be right. You know, I'll go over there. I'll lay it down. If it doesn't work out, and if it doesn't feel right to me, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is right. The goal is to make the best record. You know what I'm saying? Every time, the ultimate goal is to make the best record that you can possibly make. If it sounds right for the radio, wonderful.
You know what my brother called this? Because he actually, he listened to it before I did. He was like, yo, you listen to that Big K.R.I.T? I'm like, nah. He's like, he looked at me weird. Okay, I know. He got it before I did, and he listened to it. And he was like, yeah, you know, he's like, K.R.I.T's tight. You know, he could rap. And he always told me that, but he's like, man, this is just that grown man music. I can't fuck with everything. But him being 21, he hasn't experienced all of that stuff that K.R.I.T is that he talks about when he talks about like Banana Clip. Well, not Banana Clip. What the fuck?
When I was younger, when I was kind of a little more wild than I am now, I was going through dating people that were doing drugs, and when he was talking about how she keeps going to the bathroom and coming back, I'm like, that's how you pick that shit up. And I was probably 19 then. Now, I've dated multiple ones since then, but I'm saying, like, that's how you know that you're dating a drug head.
But you didn't come to that realization, like the full understanding till later on.
I came to that when I was 19.
When you was 19?
When
Okay,
she get with a chick, when you're sitting there hanging out with a chick and she powders her nose like 5 times within the same hour, either. Thank you. That's really the only other. That's really the only excuse. Or she got a really loose black.
Tune that bottom, man.
At the end of the day, man, I just think, you know, we talked about it, you know, that period in hip hop where it just got fucked up, things got lost in translation, and then you get an artist like this that pops up, and then the people that were in that lost in translation period, they still lost.
So real quick before we close it out, what did you think about it when you first heard the project in its entirety?
I thought that he was on the right path. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, this feels right. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way he felt. Look at this. No Weeds just came on Pandora. How about that?
Funny.
Yeah, I felt like, you know, in the career trajectory, music wise, I felt that this was the right place. You know what I'm saying? For this particular body of work, I feel like this came out at the proper time. This was the proper music at the proper time. You know, we went overseas, did Europe, we went and saw a bunch of stuff that he had never seen before. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got to see that the music that he was making was actually reaching people all globally. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and I think that is kind of what inspired a lot of the music that's on this particular project. But yeah, this new music is kind of reinforcing what people thought about K.R.I.T anyway. You know what I'm saying? He's dope. And, you know, it's like a lot of people were like, well, he's dope, but he kind of, you know, I'm not sure. And this is kind of reassuring music.
Yeah, my final thought is, once again, I when I first heard this, I did automatically say this was my favorite K.R.I.T project. I don't know that I want to stick to that yet. Hit me back in like a couple more weeks when I let this sit for a minute. But I think this is, in my opinion, where Southern rappers should be looking to. You know, this type of music is the type of shit that's gonna make people change their minds about Southern hip hop, and it's gonna kill a lot of those stereotypes that Southern hip hop has. You know, a lot of that stigma is gonna be gone if you look at projects like this. There are dudes from the South that are making quality music. And I do say he's a Southern artist, because he is a Southern artist. He's repping the South, and he's repping it extremely well, you know? So yeah, overall, this is a great product. I'm really interested to see what K.R.I.T does next. I want to know how the fuck he has this fountain of youth music, because it makes no sense that this dude is not at least, at some point, repeating himself. Every good artist does that, but I just don't see it with him yet.
Consistent, man. Another consistent, solid, great project from K.R.I.T, man. And I think at this point, that's kind of what you're looking for, you know, with as many albums as he's put out. So, you know, and the one thing that I did like about this project is that he's expanding his production, he's expanding his sound and experimenting with different beats, and I like that. So I think that would definitely, you know, continue to add to the fountain of youth that Mike is talking about, and would kind of prevent him from, you know, avoiding that or repeating himself. So, but overall, man, yeah, I enjoyed the project. It's dope. So if you haven't heard it, go check it out.
Like Mike said, man, at this point, it's almost like, man, what else can this dude do? It's like he's making great projects after great project after great projects. K.R.I.T, keep doing your thing. I enjoyed this project a lot. I can't really say was my favorite K.R.I.T project between this one or Forever and a Day, but still love this project a lot. K.R.I.T, keep doing your thing.
He's one of them guys for me that I can listen to him whenever. This project is definitely my favorite. He has it all, man. He just has it all. He has the lyrics, he has the flow. Obviously, the producing is on point. He doesn't dumb down for other artists. And look, man, if you're partial to Southern music, if you're partial to Southern hip hop, regardless of whatever artist you listen to, if you're from the South, you gotta listen to this. You gotta at least give this a chance, an opportunity, because I guarantee to you, that this is probably better than any other Southern artist that you listen to. And I'm just being 100%. So you already know what it does in the whip. You already know.
Final thoughts? Oh man, right on the deadendhiphop.com, man. Y'all do some cool shit, man. Appreciate y'all having me part of it. Clearly, you know how I feel about Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Keep supporting the dope shit, man. If you think it's dope, tell somebody else that you think is dope. Play it for them. Y'all two go tell some more people.